Hello and welcome to the Sephirah Center of Shamanism. My name is Luke, experienced practitioner and mentor of the shamanic and occult sciences. On this channel, we break down all things relating to the ancient shamanic and occult technologies, bringing them into balance with the modern psychology and deep psyche. Today, we're going to be discussing the demonic realm and its connection to the shadow. We're going to be looking at the evolutionary potential of demonic entities, their role in the cosmos, and their relation to repressed trauma. We're going to be challenging our pre-programmed ideas of duality to really shed light on the true nature of these beings and the benefits that they can provide to one's healing and evolutionary path. So if this is something that you are interested in, then definitely stay tuned. So the subject of demonic entities and darker spirits will often cause controversy within the New Age circles, purely because such spirits are viewed as inherently evil or malevolent. But it's important to understand that in this context, demonic entities are referring to beings that are negatively polarized in nature and are of pure dark matter, but are not actually limited by any false ideas of duality. Yeah, they're not referring specifically to a spirit that is good. They are not referring specifically to a spirit that is bad. Yeah, they exist beyond our multiverse, beyond the laws of creation, and existed long before it. They are older than any of us know. Okay, these entities dwell within the same vibrational density as the angels, which are the sixth and seventh dimension, are multidimensional in nature. Therefore, they can appear in unlimited numbers of places at once. They can see everything. They can see where you have been. They can see where you are going. They can see your timeline, and they can see what you are undergoing at this particular moment. Okay. Daemonic entities refer specifically to the term daemon, and daemon is different from the term demon. Yeah, demon is a Christian term that refers predominantly to evil spirits. Daemon is a term that actually means intelligent spirit and comes from ancient Greece. Okay. The term daemon refers specifically to the negatively polarized beings that dwell within the primordial chaos, which is outside of our multiverse itself. The primordial chaos is the dark womb, the pure feminine space, the goddess that births everything into existence. That means that working with a demonic spirit is essentially like working with a portion of the literal force that birthed you into existence. Yeah. I will recap on that. The adversarial forces are what birthed creation. So when you work with an adversarial force such as a daemon, yeah, they are not adversarial towards anything in your life that is good. They are adversarial towards your false self. Okay, the false self refers to the layers of your ego that have been established to create order from the chaos, shelling your inner child, shelling your soul, shelling your self-expression. When you work with a demonic entity, because they are beings of pure dark matter, you are tapping in to a current of energy that is resonant with your deep unconscious, and you are going to start to go through a process of deconstructing the layers of your false self that hold resonance with that particular demonic entity. For example, if you called on a demon for abundance, yeah, then a particular spirit would come forward that is very much ruling over the aspects of your unconscious that are resonant with your sense of self-value. So that means that the demonic spirit would not specifically bring you money, but would actually deconstruct your sense of self-value so that you can start to redefine it. Okay, and that's how the demonic entities tend to work. That's how the demonic current works. They deconstruct the multiverse to clear space for new things to be birthed. So working with one is like invoking your spiritual death. Okay, it is like working with literally the forces that birthed everything into existence, which means that they have one intention, and that is to help you evolve. That is to bring you back to the real source, which is the feminine. Yeah, which is the feminine primordial currents that birthed everything into existence. So when you work with a daemonic entity, you're going to feel like an aspect of yourself is dissolving. Yeah, particularly if you work with them on a regular basis, you're going to feel like a core aspect of who you are is drastically dissolving and shifting. Yeah, they have a very quick way of working. Yeah, when you're working with a negatively polarized spirit, you're working with a spirit which resonates with the deepest portions of your unconscious. So it's going to start to evoke portions of your inner child that need to be integrated. Yeah, purely because the inner child is what is essentially contained or shelled within the false self. Yeah, the Kabbalistic tradition would refer to these shells as the Qliphoth. The Qliphoth is referred to the shells and the husks of creation that shell one's authenticity and truth. Okay, and the Daemons rule over the Qliphoth. Yeah, they essentially hold the portions of the inner child that have been neglected and refused ownership of, and keep them there until you are ready to see them, until you are ready to take ownership of them, until you are ready to integrate them back into your being. Okay, another example, Lilith represents everything that has been neglected about the divine feminine energy, represents everything that has been neglected about the sexual energy, the darker, sadistic sexual urges, the perversions, all of the things that are related to the sexual energy and our flow of life force. Yeah. So when you invoke Lilith, you're going to be tapping into a current of energy that is going to start to crack the shells that are essentially holding the aspects of your inner child that are holding on to trauma around self-expression, trauma around the sexual energy, trauma around all aspects of the divine feminine energy. Okay, so it's important that before we start working with such spirits, we understand that these spirits are literal mirrors of the deepest, most primal aspects of ourselves. Yeah, this is why they are seen often as evil, and is why they are often scapegoated, because they represent the deepest portions of your shadow. You are a daemon. You have a daemonic spirit that dwells within you. Yeah, this is the current within you, the feminine current within you that serves itself. You refuse ownership of this and project it outside of you, it will never be integrated. And these parts of you, these primal aspects of you, will continue to run the show, streaming into your day-to-day life unconsciously because you're neglecting them and scapegoating them. Yeah, it's very easy to look at a negatively polarized spirit and think that's an evil spirit. We need to stay away from that. But you need to ask yourself, what aspect of yourself are you perceiving within that spirit? Yeah. And why are you refusing ownership of that? At the end of the day, we all come from oneness. We were all birthed in the form of oneness from the primordial chaos. So we are one with the primordial chaos. Yeah. So if we neglect these aspects of ourselves, if we neglect the daemonic current and see them as evil, we are neglecting our own unconscious mind, as well as the repressed power and fragments of our soul that are actually hidden within our unconscious mind, repressed within the personal hell structure that is held by the daemonic entities or the daemonic currents. Yeah. Another controversial thing that I'm going to say is that the term hell is actually taken from a Norse term meaning Helheim. Yeah. Hell, Hel for short, actually refers to a place of sanctuary. Yeah. Hell in a Norse term refers specifically to place of sanctuary that mirrors what exists within the self. Okay. You have hell inside of you. Hell is not separate from you. Your personal hell structure, your personal underworld, just contains everything that you have learnt that is unsafe to feel. And that includes your power. That includes your inner child. That includes your soul's essence. So when you tap into the daemonic current, you're going to go through a process of deconstruction of the layers of your false self that are suppressing your power, and you're going to start to tap into deeper portions of your true self, because your true self, the real source, is the dark womb, is the goddess, is the primordial chaos. So when you actively work with the forces of the primordial chaos, you are going to be pulled back to the source, pulled back to that divine feminine space that dreams everything into existence. Yeah, you are going to gain more paradoxical control over the formative plane, which is the unconscious, which is the place where possibility descends into from the causal planes to take form before it manifests on Earth, before it manifests within physical, tangible reality. So tapping into the daemonic currents, into the daemonic realm, is going to give you direct access to the repressed power that exists within. Okay, but it is important to approach such spirits with respect. Yeah, understanding that you're not really approaching anything that is directly outside of you. Yeah, they are their own beings. Yeah, they do dwell outside of you, but they are mirrors of what is inside of you. The primordial chaos represents the unconscious aspects of yourself, the unconscious mind, the pure potential that possesses the majority of the cosmos, just like the dark matter possesses the majority of our cosmos. Okay, so it's important to understand that you need to approach such spirits with respect, yeah, and understand that if you are already vulnerable within yourself, then the daemonic entities are only going to enhance that, yeah. So it's important that you approach them from a grounded space and acknowledge that it is an ongoing process of healing and evolution. Daemonic entities do not want to hurt you. Daemonic entities want to help you evolve. They are self-sustaining beings, ultimately. Yeah, so they feed off of your evolutionary potential. Yeah, so it's not in their best interest to harm you. Not to mention, they can't, nothing outside of you can directly harm you anyway, because we are literally living in a multiverse that is defined by specific laws of creation. Yeah, and we have free will. Yeah, so when we tap into these currents of energy, we are giving these currents of energy active permission to start assisting us within our healing and evolutionary path. And daemons want you to evolve. They want you to go back to the source. Yeah, they want you to grow because they get energy from that. That's the energy exchange. They feed off of your evolutionary potential. Whereas an angel feeds off of the energy of the collective. Yeah, they're more masculine. Yeah, they emanate energy, push energy out to serve the collective. Daemons serve themselves. Yeah, they are self-sustaining entities, which means that if you are working with one, then it is getting energy by helping you evolve and helping you change, by helping you alchemize. Yeah, so there is a two-way reciprocal thing when you're working with a daemon. Yeah, and if you want to stop working with a daemon at any point, you can in that respect. Yeah, you have free will. Yeah, you have free will to tap in and out of any particular current that you are wanting to, but be prepared that invoking a daemon is like invoking your own spiritual death. Yeah, so you're going to start to deconstruct. Portals within yourself are going to start to open. Deeper aspects of your unconscious mind are going to start to come to the surface to be integrated. Yeah, and once those doors are open, they can't really be shut. Yeah, it's important to understand that. So yes, you can stop working with a daemonic entity if you are finding the energy a bit too much, but the energy will have been opening portals within yourself that are only there to help you. Yeah, so it's important that one only approaches such spirits, such entities, with the utmost respect and acknowledging the fact that this is very deep, primal shadow work that we are tapping into here. This is one of the oldest, most primal forms of self-development. Yeah. These spirits are always to be approached as your equal, as your adherent, as your celebrant, and vice versa. Realistically, yeah, these spirits can see more of you than you can of them. Yeah, you need to accept them as aspects of you. Yeah, and acknowledge that when you are tapping into these currents of energy, you are tapping into you. Yeah, there really is no such thing of summoning anything that exists outside of the self. Yeah, all is within. Okay, so when you're working with such spirits, it's important to understand that they are going to start to pull you towards your evolution. Yeah, they are going to take you back to the source, and what that looks like for you is going to be highly individual. Yeah, so it's not unusual for such spirits to start pulling you in to a much bigger process that you may not actually be aware of. Yeah, to really work with these daemonic currents of energy is to work with some of the deepest, darkest, most repressed aspects of your psyche, bring them to the surface and accept them, acknowledging that they exist within your unconscious mind, whether you want to acknowledge them or not. Yeah. According to the daemonic entity that you tap into, the alchemy that is bestowed upon you will be very much in alignment to the nature of that spirit. For example, I'm going to say another controversial thing. If you are to tap into Lucifer, yeah, Lucifer is an entity that represents the light bringer. So his energy is literally like a big light into your shadow self. And his agenda is self-liberation. So he will take you on the necessary path to liberate yourself from the programming, from the patterns, from the traumas from your past that are still defining your future, as well as shining a big light into the deepest corners of your unconscious mind. Another example is Beelzebub, my patron. Yeah, Beelzebub was the first spirit that I tapped into of this nature. Yeah, the god of pestilence. Yeah, but understanding that as we're tapping into the god of pestilence, we're tapping into a current of energy which is said to have the power to bring illness or take illness away. So we need to look deeper at what dis-ease in that context actually means. Yeah. So Beelzebub will take you through the necessary alchemical process to harmonize your system, to heal your body, to heal your nervous system, and prevent and harmonize dis-ease. Yeah. And what that looks like for each individual will be highly individual. Yeah. Leviathan. Yeah. The renowned primordial dragon of the water element. Yeah. This spirit is very, very powerful for deep emotional processing. Yeah. When you're tapping into Leviathan, you're tapping into one of the purest energies that is in deepest resonance with the water element, which is the deep unconscious. So Leviathan will help you to feel your emotions with grace. Yeah. Whilst Lilith will help you to delve in to your sexual trauma, to delve into your trauma around your feminine energy and help you to embody that from within the physical body. Yeah. So these are individual currents of energy that sort of rule over different aspects of the formative plane, and in a sense can give you access to different corners of your shadow self. But be prepared. They will open up a whole new process of evolution that you may not realize that you are getting yourself into. Yeah, they can see your soul's evolutionary path. So when you tap into them, they're going to start to open that up and they're going to start to move you towards that. Okay. So dangers and cautions of working with such spirits. First of all, if somebody is experiencing dissociative psychosis, it's very unsafe to tap into these types of currents of energy. Even for somebody who is grounded, tapping into a daemonic spirit can uproot even the most grounded of people. Okay, so if you are vulnerable or if you are in a place at this moment in time where things may seem a bit uncertain, or if you are in a place within yourself where you feel vulnerable or you're processing, tapping into the daemonic entities will ultimately enhance that process. Yeah, bringing the most primal parts of yourself up to the surface to be integrated. Yeah, and this, if somebody is not prepared for that, is what can create scapegoating, because somebody's going into the demonic current of energy whilst they are processing trauma already, and what the spirits will do is just bring that more to the surface to be integrated. So if somebody is not prepared for that, or if they are already within a vulnerable space within themselves, it is better to not tap into that current of energy until you are in a place where you are grounded and connected to your reality. Okay. It's also important to take it slowly as well. Yeah, tapping into too many spirits at once or doing it too frequently can result in significant overstimulation of the nervous system and can put a lot of stress on the system if what you are tapping into has not been adequately prepared for. Yeah, it is important that one at least has experience with looking at their shadow and processing their trauma and holding the inner child before they start working with such spirits. So I would not recommend these entities for anybody who is only just starting out with trauma work, who is only just starting out with shadow work, or has only just stepped on to the shamanic or occult path. Yeah, ease yourself in gradually with it, because they do hold a lot of power. Yeah, and approach them with an open mind, approach them with curiosity. Your personal underworld within you that holds your inner child is basically like a playground for the unintegrated aspects of your inner child. Yeah, so therefore it's better to approach your shadow, approach such spirits, approach such entities with playfulness and curiosity, as well as approaching them with the utmost respect. Do not command these spirits either. Yeah, don't tap into these spirits and say, I command you to do this, I command you to do that. Yeah, the ancient dualistic practices that were brought in by King Solomon and the work with the Goetia were very much advocating the use of trapping and binding, which is basically forcing the current of energy into the space and basically commanding it to do your bidding. Yeah, this is a completely medieval way of working. And what you've got to ask yourself is, would you go and trap and bind a human and ask another human to do what you want? Yeah, you need to approach these entities with the utmost respect. Yeah, curiosity and a willingness to grow and evolve. Okay, so the daemonic realm is directly connected to your shadow self. Your shadow self is your way back to the source, is your way back to yourself, is your way back to your inner child, and is ultimately the way back to the goddess. Okay, so I think this is just about everything that I needed to cover in today's video. Okay, if you are interested in understanding more about demonic entities, then I highly recommend checking out my membership program that has been left in the description. I highly recommend having a mentor for helping you to work with such entities in a safe way, and particularly somebody who can help to mirror back certain parts of yourself that may be coming to the surface, having begun work with such spirits. Okay, so feel free to get in touch if you have any questions or queries about these spirits and their relation to shadow work in general. So thank you guys. Be sure to like and subscribe if this video was of value to you, and I will see you in the next video.